It was a sweltering hot day, August 6th, 1942, in the Warsaw Ghetto. Word was passing around in the street that the orphanage being run by Dr. Janusz Korczak was about to be emptied by the SS and the children put on trains to the concentration camps. It was a death sentence. Irina Sendler had arrived early that day, and she ran with all her might to the orphanage, hoping to help her old friend, Dr. Korczak, be able to save and relocate some of those children at the last minute. But she was too late. By the time she heard the rumor, the deportation had already begun. The Nazis showed up at the front door of the orphanage around 9 a.m. and they told Dr. Korczak that they were going to take the children alone, and he had 15 minutes to get them ready. Calmly, holding his anger in check, Dr. Korczak told them, "You do not leave a sick child in the night, and you do not leave children at a time like this." He told the children to put on their best clothes and to choose the one thing they would like to take with them. A 12-year-old boy picked up his violin, and the SS officer in charge jokingly requested that he play a tune. The children left the orphanage singing. They marched in rows of 4, beautifully disciplined, very well behaved, dressed in their finest clothes, with one precious thing in their arms. Many of them had chosen as that one precious thing the dolls that Irina Sendler had smuggled to them in the orphanage. The children walked through that blistering hot day. It took approximately 3 to 4 hours for them to make the journey across the city to the rail yards. I'm sure they were hungry. I'm sure they were thirsty. They were tired. Dr. Korczak marched at their head. When Irina saw him in the crowd, he didn't even acknowledge her. He just held to him an exhausted toddler and kept marching with the children. When they reached the rail yard, the children were herded into a pen to wait for the train. One of Dr. Korczak's friends ran up to him, calling to him that they could stop this. He should come with them. They could do something about it. They could talk to the Judenrat. They could do something. But the doctor slowly shook his head. "I cannot leave the children, not even for a moment." He knew if he did, the children would be herded onto those railroad cars, and he would not have an opportunity to join them. The children looked at him, afraid now, when they hadn't been afraid before, thanks to his calm and his courage. And again, he calmly and patiently helped them to board the train. He was the last aboard and stepped on with 2 tired 5-year-olds in his arms and looked out at his friends for the last time and at the soldiers. It was more than wanting to be with the children. It was also a silent protest as the best of humanity faced off against the worst of humanity. Dr. Korczak could not save the children. Dr. Korczak could not take them from the situation that they were in. But he still helped them. Thanks to him, they were unafraid. Thanks to him, they were not molested on the way to the station. They weren't beaten, clubbed, kicked, any of the other terrible things that the soldiers could think of to do. And they calmly boarded the train to their deaths. following his example. Sometimes we are in situations we cannot extricate ourselves from. Sometimes our loved ones are in those situations. But we can still be heroes. We can still lessen the pain of others around us. We can still choose to do what we know is right, just like Janusz Korczak did. Be like Janusz Korczak.